What are the BIM advantage in your point of view?
BIM advantages really come from creating a climate and an environment within which people can collaborate. They can share information in a controlled and effective way. That brings all sorts of advantages in terms of efficiencies, where we can always make sure that we're using the most up-to-date documentation. It's shared in the sense that people can be always using the right version of a drawing or a document or a map, and that it is controlled, so you're never using out-of-date information. And the difficulties that may seem to arise from having everybody using the same information can be easily managed and controlled. And so BIM offers a really good opportunity for making much more sort of effective ways of delivering projects and saving money. Because when one can make sure, for example, that the 3D models that we create, that they are coordinated correctly, you can take away many of the mistakes that you sometimes find out on site, where wiring might clash with ventilation or architectural finishes. So the world of BIM and coordinating models is also very, very important for saving money, and that saves time too. And so we've just got to get people into understanding what it means.
What advice would you give to a firm considering to make a switch to BIM?
Yeah, it's a good question. Because sometimes the opportunities seem so good, it seems that it can be a very large leap from not working in a BIM environment to getting into that BIM environment. So the key thing really is to do it in small steps. It's not something that it's easy to do overnight. So do it in small steps. Understand what it is you want to do. Where do you want to get to? And appreciate why you're doing it. If you really understand why you're trying to collect the information, the efficiencies that that gives for operating and maintaining infrastructure and buildings, then you can work backwards and see what is the most valuable type of information, what form do you need it, and when do you need it to create it. So you really have to plan. So one of the key things then is doing things in small steps, but to a plan. And the plan can really be quite easy to achieve, and it doesn't require large investments of equipment. It's all about understanding and getting it into your head about what it is you're trying to achieve.
And what do you feel is more challenging when making the switch to BIM?
Yeah, it's the challenge is really getting everybody to understand what the issues are, why you're trying to do it. And then it's getting everybody aligned and everybody on side. And that's all about making a plan that people can understand. Because generally, individuals or companies, they usually work on the principle of what's in it for me and what can I get out of this. And when you understand the benefits and how they can be achieved, then you can persuade people, and it can be a slow process. But that's the opportunity that events like this conference give us. It's the opportunity to share experiences and to learn a lot of new things. So even some of us who've been working in a BIM environment for a good number of years now can always learn a lot, and there are always new things to learn. So I think the key thing is keeping an open mind, trying to share what you know, and trying to learn more.
Okay. Your work is well known internationally, so can you tell us what are you doing right now?
Yes, in Crossrail, Crossrail is a very large construction project. It's the largest construction project in Europe at the moment. And we're about halfway through our schedule. We've completed most of the design, and we're moving well into construction now, about a third of the way through construction. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that we're collecting the information, we're using the design models to help the contractors understand the sequencing of construction. And so my world is really trying to enable the different contractors to do that, but work from one of the main concepts of a BIM environment, which is this single source of truth. So my job is really maintaining that single source of truth, trying to enrich it, and also give it a direction to make sure that ultimately all this information is moved into operation and maintenance.
How do you see the future of BIM in your country?
It's an inevitable. It's going to happen as day follows night. The government has recognised in the UK that the opportunities for more efficient construction and infrastructure are there in a BIM environment, that significant savings can be made. And so they have mandated that by 2016 all public expenditure must be undertaken within a BIM environment. So it is absolutely going to happen, which is why the quicker people start creating those small steps, the easier those steps will be.
And the last one, in your opinion, what should be the role of the schools in the definition of a BIM national strategy?
Well, I think the role of the schools are actually really quite critical. I've noticed in my company, it's great when you're getting young people who are coming in who they were born with laptops and digital technologies around them. And they've got a great part to play, because people like me who still struggle sometimes with the sophistication of the technology, the young kids are already there. And so in terms of the strategies, I think it's making sure that people understand why they are using these technologies. And so the opportunities that the school curricula and the like give us is the opportunities to get people to have those skills and competencies. Us slightly older people maybe can help everybody understand why, and we can get those young kids coming in and actually making it happen, because they're the really bright, clever ones.